Opened up. Here we go. Packets out. Close the Chromebook. Let's go. Let's go. Start class. Let's go. Packets out. Let's move. We got to get ready for tomorrow. Any issues on a parallel or perpendicular line, I'll let you know. One of those will be on the quiz test tomorrow. One of them. Okay, one of them will be on the test tomorrow. Whether it's a parallel or perpendicular line, guess you'll find out tomorrow. But hey, let's be honest, what class are we in? And an honors level student prepares for both and knows both down cold coming into class tomorrow. All right, if you want to know some characteristics of an honors level student, there's one of them right there. You tell me both, only one are going to be on there, I'm not chancing it, I'm knowing both. Down cold. Any issues with the constructions themselves before I go over the answers to a couple of the multiple choice ones here? Quick check, number 4 should have been letter J. They end up being perpendicular to each other. You do a quick diagram, it's pretty obvious that they're perpendicular. So number 4 should have been J. And then number 5, the correct sequence to do a parallel line, 2, 4, 3, 1. 2, 4, 3, 1. Anything else we need to cover? We're sure we're good on the construction. Yep. Number 3. Sure. Using do a construct perpendicular. All right. I don't care if this comes up tomorrow. I don't care if point P is on the line or it's somewhere off. The construction is still the same. I put my compass point on P, and now I make an arc that intersects twice. I don't care if it's above or below the line. Doesn't matter. Just let me quick check. Yep, that'll do it. If it does end up, I think I've mentioned this, maybe we've never encountered it, but if you can only make it intersect once, you are allowed to extend a segment or a line. Just line up your straight edge and extend it. I mark the 2 points of intersection now. 1, 2. Okay, from here, you can open or close your compass. It doesn't matter, but the next 2 have to be the same opening. All 3 do not. So after you make that first arc that intersects the segment or line in 2 spots, you can feel free to open it or close it. That's up to you. But when I make these next 2 arcs, it does have to have the same opening. You make each of the next 2 arcs from the points of intersection. Again, notice how I did not open or close my compass for those 2. And then now I draw my perpendicular line in. There it is. Put a little right angle saying it's perpendicular, and we're good to go. Any other questions? Because I am not reviewing the constructions today. We have other important stuff to review. Yes?
For a perpendicular line, could you measure, like for number 2, well, I forgot how to do it, so I put the compass point on point P and I measured P to R, and then what did I do? And then I kept the, never mind, I have no idea what I did.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else? Now, hey, there's maybe 2 practice constructions in your packet. Oh, what if I need, okay, you don't need me to provide you with questions. Here's how you review for those constructions for tomorrow. You take a blank piece of paper, you draw one of these on there. Then you put one of these somewhere, anywhere, and say, can I do a line parallel through P? Can I do a line perpendicular through P? You can do it yourself. All right, I provided 2 in the packet, but you can do it on your own. All right, just make them up. Let me see the work that you guys just did, and then we'll get going with what to expect tomorrow. I do not want you guys to be blindsided, because it's going to be a little tougher than maybe some of you think. Hurry up, let's go. I got to get reviewing. Reminder before I get on to this is all on Classroom, so you don't need to copy anything down. It's all on Classroom. Not after school today. If you have first, second, or third study hall tomorrow, you can come in then to review with me, or later on today. 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8. If you have free or study hall, you can feel free to come in and review with me. All right, there you go. There's the makeup of tomorrow's test. I gave you a little warning. One of the multiple choice questions does ask you to draw an auxiliary line. So the two lines, or the parallel lines that I give you parallel, are not enough because there's no transversal. We did a couple of those in your notes on day one. So one of the multiple choices will revolve around an auxiliary line. 5 TF, that's true false. Okay, there's going to be 5 true false questions. And I probably should not do this for you, but I'm telling you what the proof is. It will be prove a pair of lines are parallel. And FYI, it's going to be a little bit tougher than the one I gave you on your quiz. That was 3 steps. Okay, it's going to be a little tougher than that one. And then one construction, I already went over that. It's either parallel or perpendicular. Nothing fancy. Also, I did go over this on Friday, but let me stress this again. 6 out of these 17 questions will come with parallel and perpendicular lines as far as writing the equations. So point, slope, form, slope, intercept. We spent a whole day on that. I think it was day 4 or 5 maybe? Day 4? Day 5, okay. 6 out of 17 questions come from that. All right, yes, Theodore?
All the things you told us about, it only adds to 14. What are the other 3 questions?
What do I have up there? 7, 12, 13, 14. What are the other 3 then? I don't know, let me take a look. I got 7 multiple choice, 1. Oh, then there's just a couple random questions. Okay. So yeah, I guess that doesn't cover everything. Right? There's still going to be, show your work type questions. Yes, Kevin.
What's an auxiliary line?
Sure. Let me bring that. I'll bring that day up just so I can show you what I mean from the notes we did on day 1. So on day 1, we did this question right here, where there are no transversals in this diagram. So I can't have alternate interior corresponding. They do not exist unless I have parallel lines cut by a transversal. So what I did was I added in a third line called an auxiliary line right here. That is also parallel to those 3 because I put it right there. If you remember, because now both of these are transversals. So if that's 50 down here, that's corresponding to it right here. So that has to be 50. If that's 50, they added up to 72. So that's 22 right there. And now you go to these 2 parallel lines. If that's 22, X has to be 22 because they're corresponding. So something similar to that tomorrow. Theodore?
It doesn't have to be a dashed line.
No, it does not. But probably should be in the middle of the 2 parallel lines, so you make a couple transversals tomorrow. Yep, so one of the multiple choices will have that. Also, this gets into my next point. Please listen carefully on this. Will you find any auxiliary line questions in your packet? No, but you will in your textbook. Okay, you will in your textbook. Will you find any writing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines in your packet? No, but they are in your textbook. My point, just because you do the packet will not make you successful tomorrow. You are still missing topics that are on the test. All right, so your packet is not everything. You have to do some questions from the textbook. Anything else on here? I want to show you one last thing. Anything else on the makeup of tomorrow's parallel and perpendicular line test? Okay, so what am I talking about with these 6 out of 17 questions? I just made this up before you guys came in. This is what I'm talking about here, and this should be an equal sign. This is what I'm talking about here. Writing equation of a line parallel to 6x minus 2y equals 10 goes to 3, negative 2. There's 6 out of the 17 are just similar to this one. All right, so you guys know, hey, y minus y1. This is what form? This is point slope. Now, There will be a few questions tomorrow where I say I'm going to require it in either point, slope, or what's this form here? Slope intercept. So just be aware, I am going to require it. There are some questions where you can leave it the form you want, but I am going to require on a few. So let me just go over the point slope here. I know it goes through 3, -2. So y plus 2, everyone's all right how I got that part. I really want to get to the slope part. And then x minus 3. So everyone's good so far. All right. Now, I don't know how many of you feel comfortable right now. 6x minus 2y equals 10. I need the slope of this line because if they're parallel, it's going to be what? Equal or negative reciprocal? If they're parallel, they're going to be equal. So I do need the slope of this line. Is it 6? No, right? I need it in y equals form. I need it in slope intercept. So I don't know how many of you feel comfortable doing that. And I probably shouldn't tell you this. Being in an honors level class, I should just have you solve for y and go. But do you know your calculator can put it into y equals form for you? Are you aware of that? I don't know if anybody showed you that last year. Grab your calculator. Go ahead, grab your calculator. So again, this is only if you are nervous solving for y here to get the slope and the y-intercept. So let everyone grab a calculator. Again, probably shouldn't do this in an honors course, but hey, I want to show you everything. So go to Grapher, like you're going to actually graph this line. Go to Grapher on your NumWorks calculator. Go to Grapher. Type it in as is, 6x minus 2y equals 10. Type it in as is. Just let me do this too here with you. Okay, hit enter, it'll highlight it, it'll tell you it's a line, and then everyone sees you got 3 dots over here. Everyone sees the 3 dots. After you type it in, press enter, it tells you it's a line. Go over to the 3 dots, hit enter. Up will pop some options. You know, what color do you want this line? We don't care, we're not graphing it. I want more details about this. And then once you hit enter on details, look at that, huh? It'll tell you what the slope is and what the y-intercept is, so you can put it into y equals mx plus b form. All right. Now look, there is a drawback though. I did want to show you this, but I also want to warn you there is a drawback. And the drawback is, let's say your slope is 2/3. You're not going to see 2/3 here. You're going to see the decimal version, 0.6666667. All right, so just a heads up there. It is great. This little trick I just showed you on the calculator is great. I'll put it into y equals mx plus b form for you. But again, if it's a fraction, this will be a decimal instead. All right, so just a heads up there. Yes, Sam?
Can you put slope in decimal?
But if you what are you going to do if you need the negative reciprocal? Right, that's going to be a little tough to do.
Yeah.
All right, so just a heads up there if you want to use your calculator to find what the slope is. All right, anything else? Again, none of these questions are in your packet. You're going to find those in your textbook. Also, where do I get those textbook questions? Same place you get your homework and your homework textbook questions, right? It's right up there in that folder. Finally, if you forget steps to do parallel lines or perpendicular lines with a construction, you're home studying tonight, please remember that we have YouTube videos dedicated to all the constructions we do. So open up that page and find the parallel line one or the perpendicular line one. Okay, so I don't want anybody to have any excuses. All right, the rest of the time is yours. Rest of the time is yours. If you want to work with other people, that's fine. Remember, the packet is not good enough. I can't stress that enough. Your packet is not good enough for tomorrow.